2 facts about every single country on Earth in alphabetical order, starting with Afghanistan is the country where you can find the world's oldest oil paintings. It's also the largest producer of opium, and these 2 things are unrelated. Albania, much like Afghanistan, is a country in which you will not find a McDonald's. Until 1991, there were only 3,000 cars in Albania for a population of 3 million people. Algeria has won the Africa Cup of Nations football championship twice. First in 1990, and again 29 years later in 2019. It is also the largest country in Africa. Andorra is one of the smallest countries in Europe, and the only, therefore, largest co-principality in the world, meaning that the land is ruled by 2 princes equally. Angola is the second largest oil producer in Africa after Nigeria. The official language is Portuguese, while the official language of Antigua and Barbuda is English. Although Antigua and Barbuda is named after its 2 main islands, there is actually a 3rd island called Redonda, but 3 islands in one title would just be too much. Argentina is the 8th largest country in the world by land area, and the 2nd largest country in South America. Chess is a popular sport in Armenia and was even made part of the curriculum in public schools. Armenia is landlocked and bordered by Turkey, Georgia, Azerbaijan, and Iran. Australia is home to more than 60 designated wine regions, as well as the world's largest sand island, named Fraser Island. Austria's capital city, Vienna, is home to the oldest zoo in the world, and around 60% of the country is covered by the Austrian Alps. Azerbaijan has nearly 400 mud volcanoes, and the country is the largest oil producer in the South Caucasus region. There are more than 700 islands in the Bahamas, and it's actually one of the few countries in the world with the word "the" in its official title. Bahrain is the smallest sovereign state in the Middle East by land area, and was also home to the first Grand Prix in the Middle East, back in 2004. Bangladesh is currently the 8th most populous country in the world, with most of the population speaking Bengali, the country's official language. Barbados is approximately 21.1 miles long, or 34 kilometers, and 14.9 miles wide, that is 24 kilometers. I did that for people who don't understand the metric system. Yet, the island is divided into 11 parishes, which are similar to states, or provinces. About 40% of Belarus is covered in forest, and is the only country in Europe that still has the death penalty. Belgium is home to the EU headquarters in Brussels, and has 3 official languages: German, French, and Dutch. Belize is the only country in Central America where English is the official language. Belize is also home to one of the top 10 loudest animals in the world, the black howler monkey. Benin was ruled by the French for over 60 years, and the official language is still French to this day. The national sport of Bhutan is archery, and it is the only country in the world that doesn't have a single traffic light in its capital city. Bolivia is one of 2 landlocked countries in South America. The other is Paraguay. On the border between Peru and Bolivia is where you will find Lake Titicaca. Bosnia and Herzegovina has the world's 2nd smallest coastline, the smallest belongs to Monaco, and World War I was triggered by a major event in the capital city of Sarajevo. Botswana has the biggest population of elephants in the world. Botswana is also the 2nd largest diamond producer in the world. Brazil is the largest country in South America, and Sao Paulo is not only the largest city in the country, but also the largest city in the Southern Hemisphere. The currency used in Brunei is the Brunei dollar, and it is one of the countries where education is free for all citizens. The lowest point of Bulgaria is in the Black Sea, and about 1/3 of the country is forested. Burkina Faso was previously known as Upper Volta until it changed its name in 1984. That is an eerie year. The country houses 3 principal rivers: the Black Volta, the Red Volta, and the White Volta. The last country alphabetically that starts with B is Burundi. That's where you can find the popular alcoholic beverage made from fermenting mashed bananas, known as banana beer. They won their first Olympic medal during the Summer Olympics of 1996 in track and field. The official language of Cabo Verde is Portuguese, and the country is made up of 10 islands. Cambodia is another one of those countries without a McDonald's, and Khmer is the only official language in the country. And because that was the second fact about a McDonald's, one more thing about Cambodia is that tuk-tuks are a main means of transportation in the country. Cameroon is the 9th most linguistically diverse country in the world. They gained independence from France back in 1960. There are 2 official languages in Canada, English and French. It is the 2nd largest country in the world and home to the longest street in the world, named Yonge Street in Toronto. Central African Republic is roughly the same size as France and formerly part of French Equatorial Africa. It also gained its independence in 1960. The Sahara Desert covers much of northern Chad. The country is named after a lake. You guessed it, Lake Chad. Chile is the most narrow country in the world. They're also the top producer of copper in the world. Facebook continues to be banned in China. Despite China's massive size, everyone in the country adheres to Beijing time, and there is only one time zone in the whole country. Colombia is the world's largest producer of emeralds. The country is also the 3rd largest producer of coffee in the world. Comoros consists of 3 islands, and there are 3 national languages: Arabic, French, and Comorian. The 2nd largest country in Africa is the Democratic Republic of Congo. Yes, this country is making the list in the C's, okay? It's also the 11th largest country in the world. Congo is smaller than the before-mentioned Democratic Republic of Congo. The 2 countries are separated by the Congo River. Costa Rica has no military, and the citizens are considered to be very happy. Costa Rica is also the 3rd smallest country in Central America. Côte d'Ivoire, better known as its English name, the Ivory Coast, has a government that has asked the English media not to refer to the country as its English translation. The country is also the biggest cocoa bean producer. Dubrovnik, Croatia, is where a portion of Game of Thrones was recorded. Most of the scenes in King's Landing, to be exact. The legal tender of Croatia, the kuna, is named after a rodent. The largest island in the Caribbean is Cuba. It is also the only Caribbean country to have a railway. Cyprus is the 3rd most populous island in the eastern Mediterranean Sea. People on the island speak a mix of Greek, Turkish, and English. Czech Republic is in the top 10 safest countries in the world. It's usually ranked number 6 through 8. It's currently ranked number 8 as of the time of this recording. The country also has the highest beer consumption per capita in the world. Denmark is home to the world-famous Lego. The capital city of Copenhagen is known for its bike-friendly infrastructure, and that's home to more bicycles than people. Lake Assal is a saline lake in Djibouti, which lies 155 meters or 509 feet below sea level, making it the lowest point in Africa. An estimated 76% of the population of the country live in Djibouti City. There are 9 active volcanoes in Dominica. Approximately 2/3 of the island is rainforest. The 2nd largest island in the Caribbean is the Dominican Republic. Santo Domingo, the capital city, was actually the first, therefore oldest, city in the New World. East Timor, or Timor-Leste, is the only Asian country in which Portuguese is spoken. It's also home to only one national park. In Ecuador, an estimated 64% of the population does not have a bank account. Quito is the 2nd highest capital city from sea level, but also the closest to the equator. Egypt's pyramids may be the most famous, but they're not the biggest in the world. That honor goes to Mexico. But we are speaking about Egypt, so Cairo is the largest city in Africa. Fiji is made out of approximately 330 islands. Fiji's flag does indeed have a Union Jack on it. Before the Tokyo 2020 Olympics, Finland was the leading country for medals won per capita. They've since lost that title, but the country has two official languages, Finnish and Swedish. France is the largest country in the EU, but still smaller than the state of Texas. French is the official language of France, and 29 other countries around the world. Gabon, for example, has French as their official language. Over 80% of Gabon is covered by rainforest. The Gambia is the smallest country in mainland Africa. The Gambians don't vote using traditional ballots, no, but they use a unique system with marbles. The deepest cave in the world is located in Georgia. Georgia, the country, not Georgia, the state. The country is considered by many to be the birthplace of winemaking, or the cradle of wine. Europe's largest railway station is located in Germany. The capital city of Berlin is also 9 times bigger than France's capital city, Paris. Ghana is home to West Africa's largest open-air single market. It's also home to the largest artificial reservoir in the world by surface area, Lake Volta. Due to the lack of space on the peninsula, there is no agriculture in Gibraltar. It's technically an overseas territory of the United Kingdom and is self-governing in all matters but defense, yet we're mentioning it here because we have the time. And it's beautiful. About 80% of Greece is covered in mountains, and there is no part of Greece that is more than 137 kilometers away from the ocean. Fantastic. Speaking of the number 80, 80% of Greenland's landmass is covered in ice sheet. Although the country is part of the North American continent, geopolitically, the island is part of Europe. The people of Grenada are called Grenadians. The first international airport constructed in Grenada is as recent as 1985. The first international airport constructed in Grenada was in 1985. Located around 2,612 kilometers or 1,623 miles south of Japan is Guam. Guam is also a territory of the United States. The Guatemalan Civil War was the longest in Latin American history. Guatemala is also home to the deepest lake in Central America, named Lake Atitlan. Guinea was part of French West Africa until it achieved independence in 1958. So, keeping that in mind, the currency of the country continues to be called the Guinean franc. The 8th smallest country in continental Africa is Guinea-Bissau. This is also one of the countries with the youngest populations, their median age being 18 years old. Guyana is the 3rd smallest country on the mainland South America, and since we're speaking about how much of countries are covered by forests, we will note that about 3/4 of Guyana is covered in forest. The 2 languages in Haiti are Haitian Creole and French. The country of Haiti is slightly smaller than the state of Maryland. Why are we comparing countries to states? For size. Honduras is the 2nd largest country in Central America, and there is only 1 natural lake in the whole country. Hungary joined NATO in 1999 and the EU in 2004. The capital city, Budapest, has the most thermal water springs compared to any other capital city in the world. Beer was banned in Iceland until 1989. About 60% of Icelanders live in the capital, Reykjavik. India and China are currently alternating for the top spot of most populous country in the world. As I record this video, India is the 2nd most populous country. India is also currently the 7th largest country in the world. Indonesia is the largest country in the world, comprised solely of islands. That is a caveat. The capital city of Jakarta is known for having some of the world's worst traffic jams, and that is not even close to the end of the list, but this is where we will be ending part 1. Thank you for watching part 1 of 2 facts about every country in the world.